Welcome back, everybody, to Two in the Zone. You have the one, the only Dead Prez Picks, the GOAT, and then myself, AC. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We've already surpassed 100 episodes. I think this is 101. So, props to us, Dead. But everybody, give our sponsor a quick follow right there on the screen on Twitter at 7Stack Sports. By far the best book on Twitter. Same day payouts with cryptocurrency, reduced juice lines. -1, +1 on baseball. Everybody's been asking this, Dead, like you and me, both MLB and KBO. You can't get -1 or you get +1. So definitely sign up with them. At the very least, give him a follow because he's always doing giveaways. He's always doing free collab picks. Anything you want to add to that, Dead?
We have comments, AC, asking to see your lottery winnings. So these people are still anticipating you hit the Powerball.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you my new house real quick, everybody. There you go. There you go. You see this?
That's what
a new
want.
spot. Yeah, that's a new spot. Just hit the 475 mil last night. It hasn't cashed yet, though. It hasn't. The check hasn't cashed. So then I'm back in my old spot. I'm back in my old spot right there. All right. Yes. So everyone, give them a follow. 7Stack Sports. Also, give us a follow. Dead Press Picks as well as Analytics Capper. We have a lot to talk about tonight, Dead. We have the NBA. There's 3 games in the playoffs. And then also the NFL draft, which starts in about 3 hours. But before we get to that, let me just go ahead and do a quick recap, Dead, of last night. Only 2 games in the NBA. First game was pretty boring. Bucks, Bulls. Bucks took care of business. They were a 12.5 point favorite. They won by 16. I think it's going to be a great matchup against Boston in that second round. And then the late game, we could dive into this a little more, but the Warriors almost lost to the Nuggets 102-98. It did close it out, but I think we were on opposite there. So I got you. I got you in that last game.
I'm on that one.
Yeah. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, to start with that Celtics Bucks series, the Bucks will be without Middleton, it looks like, for the entire series. So the Celtics are priced at -205, which initially opened at 165. So the Middleton line obviously moved at about 40 cents, which you would expect, obviously, a reaction there. I don't think the Bucks can beat them without Middleton. With Middleton, if they were an underdog price, I would have liked it. Without Middleton, though, I think that this is going to be a Celtics series that they clear pretty easy. I'm going to be on them at -5 for that first game. And yeah, I think they're going to be able to get it done. The Warriors, getting back to that game, I was happy and sad. So I had them to close out a parlay against Memphis, with Memphis, which won. But the spread, they actually not one time in that game were covering the spread. Their largest lead was 7. So they just couldn't get in a flow. We mentioned that game 5 sometimes when you're up 3-0 and then it gets to 3-1. Suddenly the pressure comes back on the home team. Like the Nuggets played those 2 games really with nothing to lose. I mean, no one's expecting you to come back from 3-0. If you can pull it off, you get it back to the mile high, then anything can happen. And this is a team who came back multiple times in the Michael Malone era from a 3-1 deficit. So give them credit. They competed. They showed up. They played hard. But Golden State was just simply too much for them. AC, tonight's games, we have 3 of them. People in the comments are already asking about them, so let's get to it. We have the Raptors and the Celtics, or Raptors and the Celtics, Raptors and the Sixers tonight. This is going to be the game, obviously, that I care about the most as a Sixers fan. And I think the media has picked up this game the most due to the fact that the Sixers could become just the 4th team of all time to go from 3 to 3.
Don't put that energy in the universe, man.
That will put them at risk, AC, to become the first team ever to blow a 3-0 series. So let's get your thoughts first. I'm a Sixers fan. You kind of know what I'm going to say, but let's get your thoughts on it and your pick.
My first thoughts, man, these are the nights where you need multiple TVs in Philly, right? You have an awesome NFL draft, multiple first-round picks, I believe.
That's what bars are for.
Yeah, there you go. And yeah, and then you had the Sixers game. I'm sure the Phillies cashed from you early too. So
yeah, they're on the way to a World Series already. They're ahead of the pack.
Yeah, it could be a big night for Philadelphia sports fans, or it could be a dud. I actually like the Raptors, Dead. I actually like the Raptors tonight. I think the Sixers are going to play tight. I think they're going to come out and really have that 3-0 lead kind of looming in the back of their heads. The Raptors are going to play free. They didn't even have Fred VanVleet the previous game, I believe, and they still won. It's really Embiid and no one else. We saw that with Jokic, right? Jokic, he's going to win the MVP, whether you agree or not, but it's basically him and like 4 decent players, right? Maybe 3 of them should be bench players, but they're starting. I'm kind of seeing the same with the Sixers, man. We all know Tobias is a shell of what he used to be. And it's really, I think Maxi's the second best player. I don't think it's Harden anymore. So it's really just Embiid. And if the Raptors can really control Embiid, not get into foul trouble, because if that guy is shooting 20 free throws, then yeah, the Sixers will have a great chance. But I think the Raptors, I said this before the series started, that I think as the series extends, if it goes to 6, if it goes to 7, I think it favors the Raptors because they just have better athletes, better stamina.
Yeah, I mean, well, obviously I respect your opinion. I say I just disagree on the regard of of your winner. But yeah, I'm going Philly here. See, my thing was now when I was talking about that, when you're 3-0, right, you're playing loose. When you're 3-1, you're playing loose. Now I think there is a little bit added pressure back on Toronto because now they're back in the series. Like it's almost like a bet. This is how I see betting. If I bet like an under, like 8, say I bet an under, and it's 3-3 in the first inning, I don't really watch the game serious because I'm like, all right, I don't think it's going to lose anyway. But then if it's still 3-3 in the 8th inning, I get a little bit of anxiety because now I'm like, all right, this thing can actually win, and it looked dead. That's kind of how I think Toronto sees this game tonight. And the absence of Fred VanVleet, I don't think is being magnified enough in the regards of this was their all-star this year. I know they have other guys who can make it hurt, but you are correct in the aspect of Philly needs some guys to step up. Maxey has really struggled over the last 2 games, where in the first 2 in particular, he was dominant. So they're going to need him to step up. Tobias, and I am harder on Tobias, I think, than any Sixer, but he actually has
contract.
That's the thing. He actually has had a really good series, especially on the defensive end. So I think they pick it up tonight. The entire Twitter universe.
Right. Hypothetical. Let's say they lose tonight, and there's a game 7 back in Philly. How confident are you?
I'm still extremely confident. I was just having my panic meter right now is at a 1. They lose tonight, it's at a 4. Because in my opinion, I'm just not putting enough stock. I just don't think it's maybe it's more of a hit on the Raptors. Like if they're playing a different team. But I think when you're down your all-star, it's tough. It's tough to get it done. So I'm going to stick with Philly here. I think they step up. I think we see a big game from Embiid tonight. Obviously, Toronto has a pretty good fan base. It should be a good environment. But ultimately, give me the Sixers. And the Twitter curse they say when everyone on Twitter is on, especially a public dog. I can't.
Is everyone on the Raptors? I haven't been noticing.
Okay. You got to start scrolling down the timeline. I expect you to fade the Twitter.
No, I was busy heading to Austin, Texas, picking up my lottery winnings, so like I couldn't follow all the tweets today.
You missed it. All right, let's get into the Suns and the Pels. That's the next game. You on this one once again. So give me your thoughts here because this series has been pretty up and down. Obviously, coming into the series, I think the Suns thought that this would be a quick and easy series. Obviously, that has not been the case. Brandon Ingram has been phenomenal in the postseason, but then the injury to Devin Booker, who looks like he could return. I mean, they said tonight or tomorrow. Like they have put his status at a very short limit all of a sudden. What's your thoughts on him coming back?
I don't think they're gonna rush him back because they just beat the Pelicans without Devin Booker in their previous game. They still have another game in the bag, right? If they weren't able to win tonight, so if I was Phoenix, there's no way I'm gonna risk that because it's a soft tissue injury, right? You and I know we've been around sports for a while. It's something where you can manage, but if you re-injure it, you're pretty much done for the season. So I don't think it's going to be I don't think he's going to come back. It's been an alternate type of series, right? Win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1. So from that pattern, it seems like the Pelicans should win tonight, but it's a very similar read to the Nuggets last night. So I'm going to lay off. It's probably going to be a Suns blowout win watch, right? Like everyone is probably going to be focused on New Orleans and how they've been scoring really easily on Phoenix, and then Phoenix just comes out and shows everybody this is why they're, NBA Finals contenders. So it's a layoff for me. I would love to see the Pelicans win and force a game 7, but I don't think I'm going to put real, hard-earned money on it.
Okay.
Even though I'm $475 million richer
Hey, you have
today.
enough
Yeah.
now. I'm going to go with the Suns here. The way they looked in that game five, AC, that was the team we saw last year, particularly the role players.
Mikal, man.
Absolutely love Mikal Bridges. I mean, you know how upset I was when my Sixers traded him, those few years ago for a guy who, actually has never played an NBA game. So that was a good move, right, by Philly. But I mean, he was great. Jay Crowder has really struggled, particularly from three in the series. He hit a couple in that last game. DeAndre Ayton's been really good since Booker's gone out. Like he's his offense, he's really showed his ability to score. Chris Paul bounced back. I just think they're too much. A lot of times, I think we forget the Pelicans were a team who was 10 games under 500 during the regular season. I mean, this is just not. They're not even close from a talent point of view. And if you can shut down Ingram a little bit, what they can with Bridges, right? I mean, they have a lot of really good defenders across the board. Jay Crowder's a great defender. I mean, he's going to give you good minutes. You shut these guys off for a little bit of the game. The Pelicans don't have enough role players to score.
True.
I love Jones. He's not a scorer. We love Alvarado, right? He's fun to watch. But, I mean, what's he going to give you offensively? They just don't have enough guys past. They're very limited, right, with their depth. And
his cojones, man. They're made of balls of steel down there. Did you see Chris Paul kick him?
Yep. Yeah. That you're not wrong about that. Yeah. I mean, that's his game, though, right? He's a pest. He said he's Patrick Beverly, but better than Patrick Beverly.
Oh, don't say Patrick Beverly. Goodness.
That's it. He said it, not me. That's who he compared himself to.
Yeah.
All right. The final.
Yeah, it's a layoff for me. I think it's an underplay, but it's scary betting unders, especially so far in these playoffs. But maybe if it's a fast first half, I think I might jump in second half under there. All right, let's get into this last game, Dad.
All right, I'll take the first shot on this one because now we have your Mavs, right? And the first was my Sixers. Now it's your Mavs. And again, we're going to be opposite, I'm assuming, because I'm going to Utah here. I'm going with them at home. I'm assuming you're going to be on Dallas, but a lot of people on Twitter hate my Utah pick, right? Everyone's
hating. You already posted it?
I wrote it up for I was checking. So I mean, first of all, I'm taking the time writing it up, and now people are. But on a serious level here, I think that this is a great spot for Utah. Again, I'm fading the public. One of these public dogs is losing. I hope nicely they can win in 7. I'll bet on them all day in 7 with you. I'll fly down to Dallas and watch it with you. But tonight,
just come to the finals, Mavericks.
Yeah. All right, there we go.
Yeah,
that would be ideal. But I think Utah bounces back in a big way. They were a phenomenal home team during the regular season. They could not have played worse in Game 5. So I think a lot of recency bias clicks in here. They stole a game in Dallas. Obviously, game. I'm not going to say Luke is not near. He's not near 100%, but his 70% is better than 95%.
Damn good. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's one of the best talents we've ever seen. But I think Utah gets it done. It's a massive public fade, right? I mean, I know people are not going to like the Jazz, but I think they step up. Their role players have struggled. They have not shot the ball well from 3. This is typically a really good shooting team. But I think these guys step up tonight. Connolly steps up. Clarkson steps up. Their season is on the line. They're in Utah. It's a tough place to play. And the last thing they say, the NBA wants more Game 7s because the almighty dollars. So the refs, Utah's getting the calls. I mean, I'm telling you, when the games, it's going to be the same in Toronto. They're going to get more calls. But, AC, you tell me why the Mavericks are going to win, and I'll listen to you.
Yeah, so no, I agree with a lot of your points. Utah's been a good home team, a great home team prior to the second half of the season. They've been struggling now for about 3 months, so they haven't been a dominant home team for a while now. The thing with Utah is it's very apparent they don't like each other. Even on the Donovan Mitchell, alley-oop to Gobert in Game 4, like they didn't even celebrate. Like they didn't even have fun and smile at each other. I think Utah's going to try to make it close or keep it close. But the first 10-0 run or the first 12-0 run in that second half by the Mavericks, I think Utah's just going to fold, man. I think the entire team knows that this could be their last game tonight, and they'd rather just finish it tonight. Why head back to Dallas and lose in Dallas? So in my opinion, I think it is a Mavericks play, and I actually do like alternate spreads because I don't think the Mavericks are going to win a close one. I think if they win, it's going to be a blowout. So you either take a Utah Jazz money line, which at this point is a pick 'em, or Mavs like -9.5, because I don't think it's going to be a close game if the Mavs win. With that said, they did blow that game 4, right? Luka had an amazing game, hit the 3 with 30 seconds left to be up 4, somehow lost the game, and I think we're going to get some revenge tonight in Utah. So give me the Mavericks tonight. I believe it's a pick 'em right now. I love it. But again, if you're going to do Mavericks, I would get plus odds, get some more money into it, like -4.5, -6.5, -9.5. I think if they win, they're really going to blow out the Jazz. As far as like the argument for Utah, obviously they have a lot of talent. Conley is kind of a shell of himself. I don't think he can get around anyone, so it doesn't matter how he does. It's really going to be on Donovan Mitchell, and if Gobert is going to be able to actually get them some points. He's been dominating on the boards, but if he could get them 15, 20 points, then he's going to give Dallas a lot of trouble. The issue in this series is Utah is giving up so many uncontested 3-pointers. So if Dallas just hits like 30, 35% of those threes, they should be able to beat Utah. I mean, I hope it's a good game for here in Dallas. We're super excited, right? The Stars just made the playoffs last night. The Mavs here could get into the second round, the first time in the Luka
Cowboys, era.
Right? We still got the Cowboys. We're going to trade up for the number 1 overall pick tonight, too. I mean, there's just so much going on here in Dallas. That's why I flew back from Florida and then won the lottery last night. So it's just like shaping up for me perfectly.
It's been a good week for you, right? Yeah. I mean, I do think. Sorry, I cut out there for a sec. I think I heard all your points though. I mean, the spread's where it is for a reason. I think it's going to be a hell of a game tonight, but I'm going to fade and the public spot here and go with the Jazz. All right, AC, our best bets of the night. People in the comments, we appreciate all the comments. If you guys have any questions, please let us know. We'll try and get to. Also, we have some draft stuff, that we've been throwing around. So if it's about any sport, it doesn't just have to be basketball. But AC, let's get to our best bets of the night. If you want to kick us off with yours.
I'm going to go with 2 of them. I'm going to go with player props. I think there's going to be a big game by Pascal Siakam tonight. So points, rebounds, assists. I think they're going to try to run on Philly. So give me Siakam. I'm not sure what that number is. I don't know if you have it on you, Dead, but I like Pascal Siakam points or rebounds or assists or all 3. And then the second one, I think DeAndre Ayton eats tonight. I think everyone's going to be zeroed in on a potential, return of Devin Booker. Mikal Bridges just had a great game. Chris Paul had 20 in the 4th in the previous game. I think DeAndre Ayton's going to eat. Give me a double-double or maybe points plus rebound player prop.
All right, I'm going to go to that same game with the Jazz, and I'm going to go to Donovan Mitchell over 25.5. We just got some comments about how trashy he's been. He has not been good in the playoffs, but he typically thrives in these spots. In his young career, he averages north of 30 points per game in the postseason. And the thing about Donovan Mitchell is he's like that kid you played with on the playground who sucked, but he just kept shooting. Even when he sucks, he's not going to give up the basketball. So he's never going to be afraid to shoot. He's going to get up. I think tonight he can get up 25 to 30 shots. I mean, I don't think he will stop shooting. So I love his over here. It's their season's on the line. I think
he's interviewing for his next team, so I like that.
Maybe he'll be a Knick for Alpha.
Don't do that. New York has already has seen through so much disappointment. They're never going to get Donovan Mitchell. Sorry, guys.
Well, yeah, we're sorry, Knicks fans. But, guys, that is our bets. Also, a quick one I want to give you guys for the draft tonight. If you can find this, it's wide receivers taken in the first round under 7.5. You might have to pay a little bit of juice depending on your book. Make sure you guys check out 7 Stack Sports for draft props. But this one I love. I don't see how we get to 8 here. I know some places are carrying 6.5 and plus money. I only have 6 going, so I still like that, but I could see someone trading up. There's always that one guy that no one really expects, the Jalen Reagor type of pick.
No,
don't remember. But, that someone might just come up with. So if you can find that, total wide receivers took in the first round under 7.5.
I like that.
Make sure you guys take that tonight, and that will be our 2. Well, now we have 4 best bets because we each have.
Yeah, we have 4. Can I throw out a draft pick? I mean, I'm on fire, right? I'm gonna go with over 6.5 Big Ten players in the first round.
Ooh,
I think there's a lot of talent this past year in the Big Ten. OSU kind of underperformed, but they always draft well. You just need 7 of those guys to be drafted in the first round. I believe it's minus 120 at DraftKings, so definitely look into that, and definitely look into 7 stacks. He's definitely gonna have all the props when it comes to the draft tonight. All right, Dad, you want to close this out?
Yes, I do. All right, yeah. So tonight could be a great night, like you mentioned, for me as a Philly sports fan. So if the Sixers lose and the Eagles pick someone like Jalen Reagor, you guys can DM me to check in on me. I'd appreciate that.
I'll just throw you a cool $100 million.
Yeah, there we go. I'll take that too. That would not be bad. Guys, we'll be back with our final episode of the week tomorrow. Again, if you guys need draft props, please DM at 7 Stack Sports. A lot of books aren't offering them, or they're really trying to stick it to you with the lines. So take advantage, get on as many outlets as possible. We'll see you guys Friday.